order for her to wield the Darksaber again, it must be won in battle.
Instead of simply sending the 1 minute and 50 seconds of previously awning for being 1 minute and 50 seconds of previously awning, I'd like to send it for being the most contextually spoilery previously awning we've seen to date. If this had included a sad droid, a Back to the Future trailer, and a Saxaboom rendition of About Damn Time, we wouldn't have needed to watch the episode at all. Also, 1 minute and 50 seconds of previously awning. Transporting a fish in a champagne coupe instead of a flute or the much more appropriate Bordeaux glass. Not giving us an explanation as to why the captain's the only one that gets a tank and the rest of these fish holes just have to be dry.
You see, we were already hired by a certain Mon Calamari viceroy.
I apologize if we've seen this at some point in the past, but calling your obviously Piscine-flavored species calamari.
I can't destroy everything I've built for a childish fling.
Is that all this was to you?
That's not what I meant.
When did this become the CW's Mandalorian?
They've taken control of the ship. I guess we're going for a ride.
Mando and Bo passively let the episode turn into a side quest.
This is interesting.
Careful with your exuberant adjectives there, Mando. A 2-minute recap followed by 3 minutes of calamari does not an interesting episode make.
Welcome to Plaisir 15.
Making your planet sound like a prescription-strength hemorrhoid cream.
Please proceed to your Hyperloop pod.
Disney bet hard on the monorail in Lost, so now it's shifting gears so it can cash in on all the Hyperloop hype from 10 years ago.
Please do not attempt to leave the vehicle. This is not a request.
We're going to learn a lot about how much of a paradise this world is, but somehow no one's ever voted against the whiplash-inducing dramatic timing of these Hyperloops.
Come! Everyone, special guests, Mandalorians.
Listen, I love Lizzo and Jack Black, but whenever Star Wars does these type of cameos, it's like they're pulling the curtain back on the whole production to say, hey, look who it is! Takes me out of the story every time.
I hope you like secretions. Take a little sip.
Secretions.
Plaisir suffered greatly under Imperial rule. My husband came here as part of his rehabilitation.
Okay, let me get this straight. Captain Jack here worked for the Empire and as a rehabilitation/penance was sent to a planet abused by said Empire where he managed to marry his way into the royal family and be an elected leader? How many war criminals do you know that were given their own fucking planet to rule?
Could I perhaps hold the baby, please?
Lizzo breaks character and they just decide to keep it in the episode.
He doesn't take kindly to strangers.
Saying this instead of, this baby might be able to kill you with its mind. This series seems confused about what Grogu's supposed to be. Sometimes he's a baby, sometimes he's a Jedi, and other times he's just a puppy.
We held direct democratic elections for the first time in our history.
We are both royals and elected leaders.
Yeah, but earlier the automated thingy said,
Welcome to Plaisir 15, the Outer Rim's only remaining direct democracy.
And if you're electing representatives, then that's not a direct democracy. That's a representative democracy with direct democracy institutions. See, Mom? I told you YouTube wouldn't be a total waste of my college degree. Are you proud yet?
Respectfully, what does this have to do with us?
Katie Sackhoff's question to the writers about why the characters are even in this situation somehow makes it into the episode.
The Mandalorian garrison outside your city walls can make quick work of your battle droids.
Our charter forbids any standing army from entering our city.
But somehow that same charter is totally fine with an Imperial cruiser, complete with shuttles, camping up just outside of the city on a f***ing technicality? What's to stop them from hiring more mercenaries and building an army that way? Sure, this keeps the citizens of Plaisir 15 safe, but it doesn't do much to prevent that pesky Imperial tendency to dominate the galaxy.
The people have voted we are a pluralistic society. You are Mandalorians. Weaponry and armor are intrinsic to your culture, are they not?
I don't think you're using pluralism in the way that you think you are. Yes, being pluralistic means that you're accepting of a variety of political and cultural ideologies and even incorporate them into your system of ruling. But you don't have to be pluralistic to allow visitors from other cultures. This is like bragging that you're an all-you-can-eat buffet and therefore the only type of restaurant that allows people to bring in their own food. It might be true, but it has nothing to do with the buffet. I also might be hungry. Also, I'm fine with exploiting loopholes, but this loophole applies just as much to Axe's Mandalorians as it does to Bo and Den here. I see no reason why you couldn't have asked them to clear the droid problem as Mandalorians in exchange for the defense contract.
Plaisir 15 would formally recognize Mandalore as a sovereign system and petition the new Republic to recognize it as such.
You mean the random planet that happened to have hired the Mandalorians that Din and Bo need to find also just happens to be in a position to help Din and Bo complete their mission to unite Mandalore? What luck!
The mercenary captain, Axe Wolves, indicated that he split from you because you had designs on ruling Mandalore once again.
Why the f*** did that come up? Why would Axe be chatting about the life goals of his predecessor with a complete stranger that shouldn't give a shit?
Those plans have been abandoned.
The offer stands nonetheless.
Dude, she just said those plans have been abandoned. Why are you standing by this as an offer instead of cash?
You had me at battle droids.
And you lost me at the Jerry Maguire reference.
These droids were all reprogrammed to serve the community.
Great Scott! This is how we get Doc Brown in Star Wars? I mean, it's about damn time, but in a minute, I'm gonna need a explanation for the Mando cameos. Feeling foresee.
Why not turn them all off?
The citizens voted against any interruption in droid services.
Reminding me that we live in a world where I can't send this vote for being unbelievable and stupid.
The Ugnaughts.
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 Excitement?
I am Bo-Katan Kryze.
I knew it! I once had to re-record a whole video because I randomly started calling her Bo-Katan instead of Bo-Katan. Then the other characters in the show started calling her Bo-Katan, so I figured maybe it is Bo-Katan. But I mean, she definitely says Bo-Katan here, and she should be the one that knows, right? So why do people keep saying Bo-Katan? I mean, Katan. Tanton.
We were sent on behalf of the Duchess and Captain Bombardier to help you with your droid problem.
Mando lets Bo-Katan fail multiple times at communicating with the Ugnaughts instead of speaking up first or telling her.
I've spent time with Ugnaughts. There's a particular way to communicate with them.
For this episode, the writers decided to make Din a real Mandalorian.
We were engaged to hunt down and eliminate the malfunctioning droids.
There are no such droids.
These aren't the droids you're looking for in a Star Wars story, cliche.
They've indicated that there's a likelihood that the next event will be at the loading docks.
But what the hell are they basing that on? I get that they can track the malfunctioning droids, but how are they able to predict when it's going to happen? Especially since this malfunction ends up being triggered by Mando himself. Holy inevitable Skynet uprising, Batman. That is a lot of droids. Is having them loaded and unloading one box at a time at a pace slower than Michael Myers really the best way to utilize them? You have a whole battalion of battle droids that are less efficient than one forklift and a pallet. There are a billion droids here, and of course, this works on the third one that he kicks. Bo-Katan was ridiculously and uncharacteristically slow on the draw here. Mando gets knocked the out, and she waits until the droid runs past her before drawing her pistol, as if she knew this episode was lagging and needed a chase scene. Mando ducks so that this box can kill the people behind him, instead of scratching his precious armor.
Keep going!
All of the impossibly perfect, there's no way he could have predicted when the droid would pass by the window and perfectly self-defenestrate himself to victory bullshittery that we just witnessed in this stunt.
I don't think they get many of our kind here.
We got a sudden record stop, and now this line. Man, this show is hitting all the notes in its composition titled Entering a Bar Cliche.
Stay where I can see you.
Oh, come on, Mando. That's asking a lot when you're talking about a helmet that limits your field of view to about 12 degrees.
You can't reason with droids.
Their behavior's programmed. All they do is reason.
Bo-Katan could lead all of Mandalore at TVSins.
There are concerns among my customers that we will be replaced.
By what?
Humans.
I'm not sure if it's a compliment or an insult that this robot thinks the only species that could replace it are humans. Also, for some reason, this droid's calculations didn't factor in just how lazy humans are. If ChatGPT is any indication, it's obvious that we're much more scared of writing essays than we are of the robot apocalypse.
We don't want to be replaced. We still have a lot to contribute.
We get all of this world building and a fascinating sneak peek into the lives of this very specific group of droids on a planet we've never seen before, but when it comes to the Force, we get f***ing midichlorians. Great. Yes, I'm still sending the prequels.
What's Nepenthe?
I'm sure the droid will have the actual answer, but I'm willing to bet it's exactly whatever the plot needs it to be to make this side quest make sense.
So Nepenthe reprograms the droids that drink here?
It patches the programming as the commands of the mainframe change.
Let me get this straight. Organics created droids to do the work of organics because droids can be optimized and don't need downtime. But then those same organics created a social bar situation as a way to send software updates in the form of imbibements. Why? Why isn't this just downloaded? I mean, congrats on creating a system of rolling out software patches that's more convoluted than Windows Update, but why? This feels like a needlessly analog filing system for a robot.
These are the remains of the latest malfunctioning droid.
On this episode of CSI The Outer Rim, droids need a coroner for some reason. Why wouldn't they take the droids back to the Ugnaughts workshop?
The particles are definitely present.
What are the chances that they're still active?
No less likely than them activating at the perfect time to answer your question, I'd say. These lasers conveniently, yet inexplicably, bank straight upwards, allowing Bo to get away unbifurcated.
They're actually nanodroids.
How did nanodroids get into the Nepenthe?
Oh boy, I can't wait for the answer to that.
The chain title says it didn't arrive on Plaisir through droid acquisitions.
Wait a second. It didn't go through droid aqua.
These droids were ordered by an individual, our head of security, Commissioner Hellgate.
The long and short of this is that the malfunctioning droids are caused by nanobots, and there's only one possible person that could have ordered them. So how the f was Hellgate ever expecting to get away with this? He didn't even try to throw Din and Bo off the trail. Also, isn't it cool that the computer was programmed to do a slow reveal of Hellgate's image to match the tension of the moment?
If I trigger this failsafe, it will convert the planet's docile workforce back into battle droids.
More like a fail unsafe. Am I right?
Okay, let me get that for you, milady.
Using living things as space bocce balls.
This planet is unrecognizable since he arrived.
Yeah, but how is his scheme to reprogram droids going to change that? This is basically just throwing a tantrum. Only this tantrum results in more damage to the planet he claims to love and banishment to a moon.
As for now, you must live in exile on the moon of Paraquat.
We finally get Christopher Lloyd in Star Wars, and this is what you do with him? You banish him to a moon? Star Trek made him a Klingon and had Captain Kirk kill him.
I also give to you both our highest honor, the key to Plaisir.
Do they always just have that thing on hand? Didn't seem like they were expecting them to turn up right now, let alone turn up with the mystery solved.
Then what's your play?
I'll know when I get there.
For the record, this is a terrible play. Forgive me, but reuniting a civilization so you can reclaim your home planet should require slightly more prep than I'll do it on the night.
While exploring Mandalore, I was captured, and this blade was taken from me. Bo-Katan rescued me and slayed my captor. She defeated the enemy that defeated me. Would this blade then not belong to her?
What the f were you saving this story for? You have the whole thing laid out with all the justifications and you were keeping that shit in your pocket? Bo could have just died fighting Axe body spray over there. What the f, Mando?
Launch point 21 gigawatts!
And I will always love you.
Slimy, yet satisfying.
A new life awaits you in the off-world colonies. The chance to begin again in a golden land of opportunity and adventure.
Why do they have Imperial droids on an independent world?
Because you'll love them and they'll love you.
Oh yes, new cities, homes in the country. Your woman at your side, children playing at your feet. And overhead, fluttering in the breeze, the flag of the Federation.
Ciao, Bella. Earth, wind, and fire!
I don't know what that means.